got a shoebox here. It's a project different to RC, but this is for Daniel. And what it is, he's into Dungeons and Dragons. He's joined a club. And there's this stuff you can print off on Thingiverse called Openforge, where you can make a play setup. And these ones are really interesting, because what it is they use little magnetic balls to hold the squares together. So it is a modular play set, where you can just lay the pieces down and move them around. I've done just a base design. This won't mean nothing to you, but it's all the corners, walls and everything, and other things I've printed for him. And it's been quite a project, because this box is about 300 hours of printing. Some of the parts were quite long, and quite a lot of them. Well, considering these were an hour and a half each, and there's 40 of them. So I thought I'd show you some of it. Some I've already done a little bit of work to, because there's doors like this which open. They're not a great fit, but I still want to add a washer in there just to bring the height up a bit. But I've added plastic underneath, because they're such a loose fit that they don't fit the door nice. I don't know, you won't be able to see it, but they just don't fit at the top here. They sit below. See there, you can just see the light through. So there, the hinge pin, I just used a paper clip, so that is removable at the moment. And all I do is, once they're assembled, is trim the pin off. So with the bases, you've got like there's a plain 4 playset. It doesn't show up really well. There we go. That's not so bad. Shows up, and what you do is you put 8 magnetic balls in, and you glue this on top, like so. The only trouble I had was the bases were a little bit too small. But the good thing with Cura, what you can do is just fiddle with one setting on dimensions, and I printed this at 102%, and it fits the squares a lot better. But we got like corner walls. Let's take this down a bit. And you have bits of floor to suit that, when I can find them. Like I said, there's a lot of parts at the moment, and that'll make like a corner. We've got half walls, well, 3/4, where just the normal wall fits on all the doors, like so. So it makes a side wall. Some I've got to work a little bit more on. This is a opening trapdoor, or a hatch to go down. But once they're all together, you'll see what it looks like, because it'll probably take up a good size here. So I'll just get ready, and we'll make up. I'll show you making a tile, and then I'll make all the rest off camera, as you can guess. Now the first one I'm going to show you is just like I said, a plain base. We're using a thick super glue, because you don't want the runny stuff. Now what you've got to do is get these balls into the holes. The first one goes in easy, but on a corner you've got to put your finger across. So keep the other magnets away might help as you go. But you go across the corners. Until you fill all the round holes. See the magnetic balls are a play set from China, and you literally buy them, buy, well, this is 1,000 of them to use. I've got plenty over to make more things for him later on. Like I said, this can be expanded upon the set 'cause there's so much you can make for it. Now, with the balls in, it's designed that there's these gaps. So when you put glue on the glue areas, if there's a squeeze through, it don't get to the magnetic balls. So we take the super glue, and I don't know if I can get this in camera. Puts glue on all the points. Part of the reason for using thick is so it's less, it doesn't rip. And then put the top piece on, line it up, and clamp it. Or try and clamp it in a line, I should say. And this is what you should end up with. And hopefully you don't knock them too much out of a line. These clamps are a bit tough. But that's the general idea. You can see. You put them together and they'll start lining up. So it just sort of holds them together. So I'll get on making them, but they're all roughly just glue them together and make them as you go along. I've managed to fit all the magnets and glue all together. This has taken about 3 hours because there is like some of multiple parts, like corners. You've got 2 bits to glue, the walls are 2 bits. What can I show you? There's like I said, they just pull out. You can hear the magnets. But we've got a couple of arrow slits. You can see there we've got a couple of arch windows, a couple of doors. The trap doors I've got to finish off. They've got to be painted and the doors fitted. But that won't be, they've got to be painted separate. So like the doors back in the bag. There's a rubble floor, you can just about see here. Here we've got, you can see it, a fireplace. But this is what I designed. Like I said, it works out with me plan, and luckily I printed it exactly everything I needed. So I'm really happy there, because it would have been a rush job to sort of quickly knock another one off. But overall it seems to go together fairly good, the look of it. Oh, we've got one good little thing here. We've got a grate, and the grate will be glued in because it's awkward to use. Just got to flatten it a bit with a bit of heat, but that can be done with a hairdryer. Sometimes parts cure and curve when they're thin. So there's a grate section. So next part will be all the painting, which is going to be another video. One thing I've also done is we've got a little sarcophagus to paint up, and that can be placed like that or anywhere he likes. And I also made some pillars which will be glued to the centre of a couple of the squares. That's what they look like. But they'll be glued once they're painted again. And then we've got a couple of half pillars, and they can be glued to a sidewall. They just glue on like that. So there's a couple of extra detail parts. I might print a couple of more of them off. They don't take long, they're about an hour. Well, no, 47 minutes. And another little broken tomb which can go in as well. But that, like I said, the tomb bits will be loose, the pillars will be fixed. But I will add a few more to where I think. It's a shame they didn't do a corner one so you could fit some into the corners. Yeah, I would have kind of liked that.